So way in the back of the shop, back behind the CNC machine, is the dust collector. And it's a Clear Vue Cyclone. It's a 5 horsepower motor. The Cyclone sits above, and then the box for the dust sits below that. When I first put the dust collector together, I could hang the motor off the wall, then hang the Cyclone off the bracket that the motor was also attached with. And I could attach the filters. And once I had that together, I could build a cabinet around the dust collector. And the cabinet is a basic 2x4 wall with soundboard on the inside and plywood on the outside and batt insulation in between the studs. And at the bottom of the cabinet under the Cyclone, I could build a box for the dust. And the idea for the cabinet was to keep the shop quieter while the dust collection is on. So the sound will be held inside the cabinet, hopefully. So over the years, I've gotten the question many times why I didn't build a removable container at the bottom of the Cyclone for the dust. And I guess I built it this way with a built-in container, figuring it was easy enough just to shovel out the sawdust when it needed to be emptied. And I think it could be done either way, but I think either way has an issue, whether it's a built-in box or it's some kind of container that can be removed. The way that a Cyclone works is that the dust bin has to be airtight. You can't have air moving from the dust bin up through the Cyclone, or it'll carry dust up and into the filters. So you can't just park a bucket under the Cyclone and have it fill with sawdust. It has to be physically sealed with the bottom of the Cyclone. So really shoveling it out is just a different way of doing it, and it's not necessarily any harder than removing a bin that still has to get carted out of the shop, and then at some point that bin has to be emptied into something else. The one thing I kind of screwed up a little bit is I didn't realize that you really need to clean the filters every once in a while, and I enclosed them inside the cabinet. And there's a clean out at the bottom of the filters with a blast gate, so I can stick my vacuum hose into that clean out and then squirt air into the filters and clean the dust out of the inside of the filters every once in a while. So the air goes through the Cyclone and the dust falls out, and the air continues on into the filters, and it comes out of the filters, and then it comes out of the cabinet down at the floor, and I left some openings to let the air out. And I'm hoping having the openings down there and there's some wood baffling down there will keep the sound from coming out of the holes. So it'll let the air out, but at least keep some of the sound in. So I have a main 8-inch line that comes out of the Cyclone at the height of the intake on the Cyclone. And it runs across the short wall of the shop. And off of that, there are 3 branches that go down into the floor. And there are those attached to 3 lines that run under the slab of the floor. And each one of those lines has a connection point at both ends and one in the middle. And the thought in doing that when I was building the shop was that I didn't want to fill the volume of the shop with dust collection pipes that would run overhead. And I wanted to keep them out of the way, basically. So I put them in the floor. And I think that system would work great. The one problem is that we made the bend at the walls too tight, and that really hurts the airflow. I think my thinking was I would just get a big dust collector and I would just power through it, and that doesn't really work. I think the main advice I would give anyone who's designing a dust collection system is to keep all of the bends in the pipes big or gentle, I guess, so that you don't have a quick 90-degree bend. A good way to do it is to have 2 45-degree bends and pair those together, and that sort of slows that curve down. Then this 8-inch pipe runs around to the other end of the shop and collects the dust from the radial arm saws. And even though that's fairly far away, because the run of the pipe is smooth and there aren't any tight bends in it, I actually get really great suction at the far end of the shop. So the distance isn't really the issue. It's the shape of the pipes. A different option that could have also worked would be to have not cast the pipes in the floor, but to have made a trench in the floor that I could get access to. And then I could put the pipes in later, and if they needed changing, then they could be changed if there was some issue that came up. When we put in the dust collection pipe, we also put in a smaller pipe to run electrical in the floor. And if I had done a trench, I could have done all of that at the same time in the trench, because it's somewhat of a pain to pull the wire through those conduits now that they're cast in the floor. So I thought I'd go around now and show how the dust collection system connects to the different machines and sort of what works and what doesn't work so well. And in thinking about what order I should do that in, I was thinking I should go from the best setups to the worst setups. So I think probably one of the nicest setups is what I've done with the big radial arm saw. And I did a whole video on building this, so I will put a link to that down below. But basically how it works is the dust collection comes up from below, and it comes through the table, and it then comes through the fence. And so when the dust collection's on, it actually holds the workpiece to the fence, and it works really well at picking up all the dust. In fact, I find that I don't have to connect the blade guard dust collection because nothing comes up through that. I think a similarly good connection is the one at the CNC machine. And I did this recently, and I did a whole video about making this connection too, so I will link that down below too. But it's close to the CNC machine, and I really tried to keep all the bends and the runs really graceful on this. The one spot is where the hose drops, and that's a little bit tight, and it'd be nice to make that a little smoother. But the suction seems pretty good at the CNC. I was hoping that it would work well enough that I wouldn't need the brush at the spindle, but I found that it works a lot better with the brush on. Also here at the CNC, I used my floor connection that's over at this end of the shop to make sort of a hand vacuum that I can clean up the CNC table when I need to. And then the other end of this connection goes to the spindle sander. And it's nice to finally have the spindle sander set up to the dust collection. So this is the dust collection at the planer, and it doesn't run through the floor, and it comes right off the main line. So it has a pretty good run from the planer to the Cyclone. And I actually get pretty much all the chips get sucked up with this system. With a planer, you don't want a chip sitting on the table to get under your workpiece, because then you're going to not plane it parallel to the table. So it's really important to keep all the chips out when you're planing. The planer came with a sort of homemade hood that connects to the top of the planer that then allows you to attach a 6-inch pipe to the dust collection system. Now at the disc sander, I actually took off the original metal plate down here and the original little dust collection motor and fan that used to be down here, and I remade this plate out of wood, and I attached a 6-inch connection point here, which I think works a lot better than what came with the disc sander. Now this dust collection hose is connected to the dust collection in the floor, so it's going through the two tight bends, one at each end. So the drum sander that I still need to hook up is where it is because it sits right over the central dust collection hookup in the shop. So the dust collection comes up out of the floor and connects directly to the underside of the sander. And once I get this hooked up, it should work really well, or work fairly well. It's got two tight bends at this point, but it's fairly direct. And it's a nice big 6-inch connection. Now the big bandsaw hooks in down here, and it's not the greatest setup. It goes down the wall all the way under the floor and then back up again and then into a hose, and then it splits to a 4-inch line down here at the bottom of the bandsaw. So it gets some of the dust, but it doesn't get everything. Now I've got this split, and I've got a longer hose on this line, and I kind of use this to clean up the floor sort of under the lathe and what the bandsaw doesn't pick up, and under the drill press and on the drill press, and it kind of gets, this whole corner of the shop makes a lot of chips. And it makes a lot of chips with stuff that really isn't connected very well to the dust collector. So I end up sort of vacuuming, and that's what this is. It's sort of my vacuum hose. And it's not really the best setup. I'd like to actually make this line more dedicated and have this on the other side of the bandsaw where it comes up out of the floor. So the connection under the table saws comes up out of the floor, and I have it then divided, I guess, once and then a second time, and it goes to the different saws from that point. The first problem with this is the contractor put the connection in the floor in the wrong direction, so the airflow up to the table saws isn't very good. Then it's also divided between the two saws that I use the most, and I don't have a good way to put in a blast gate between those two saws. So they both end up having suction at the same time, so neither of them have very good dust collection. So this is the connection at the jointer, and it's the far end of one of the pipes that goes under the floor, and it's split into two 4-inch connections. And the pipe running under the floor is also robbed of some of its pressure by the table saw setup, because it's hard to get to the blast gate that closes off the table saws. So I never get very good chip collection at the jointer. So one of the worst connections to the dust collection system is actually right next to the Cyclone. And it's the connection for the small radial arm saws. And I set it up where I have a box running behind the saws, and then there's a hole in the table where the dust goes into. And that whole setup doesn't really work that well. On top of the fact that I got a regular T connection to make the connection into that box. And a regular T connection is horrible. That kind of connection should never be used in an air system. What I need, I think it's called a sanitary T, and it's got a sweep to it so the air can move through that connection better. But I found that really expensive, so I haven't fixed it yet, but I need to do that. At some point, I think I just want to make this whole column metal and just get a metal connection. But it's just a matter of doing it. I was short of blast gates, and I made one wooden one for this connection, which works pretty well. Doesn't slide, this just comes out. It's just sort of a wooden sandwich with the center of the sandwich you can move in it, and it either makes the pipe open or closed. When I started the dust collection system, I thought I was going to use the PVC pipe because it seemed cheaper than the metal ductwork. But what I've found is that it's, at least here in Oregon, it's hard to find the fittings for the PVC pipes, at least the bigger 6 and 8 inch size fittings. And when I do, they seem more expensive than the metal fittings. So I've been moving towards using metal ductwork, which is why it's sort of half metal and half PVC. I've actually never added the last bit of soundboard on the inside of the door. Which goes on this face. So I'm actually thinking now is a good time to do that. So I have a piece of soundboard that I've had since I originally built the shop, and I can finally get it out of my wood storage area. and I can cut that to the size of the door, and hopefully it'll fit. I put it in place and it looked good, but what I decided I needed to do was to add a little cleat to the bottom of the door, and that'll help me hold the piece of soundboard in place while I put the first few screws into the piece of soundboard. So I can put it on the cleat, then add a couple of screws to hold it in place, and then I can take the cleat off and make sure the door closed, and then I can add the rest of the screws. Then I ran a test. These little bounces in the needle are my footsteps. So the dust collector on, it's just a little above 60 decibels. And if I open the door to the dust collector cabinet, it goes up to about 68. So the cabinet is cutting the sound by 6 or 7 decibels. And on my little meter, it goes from speech to noise. So I guess that's good. That's the dust collection system as it stands now. It's always a little bit of a work in progress. Thanks for watching.